You need this medicine. It ain't gonna always taste good, but this is what you need. Men and women, bottom line, we need to have the conversation. Your partner wants to give up control, but only if you know how to drive. This is about being the best you could ever be, whoever you are. I don't care if you're a man, a woman, LGBTQ, space aliens. I'll save anybody. I don't care. I'll teach a hedgehog how to have a threesome.
What do you mean by that?
Look, you don't have to listen to me, but you're wrong. Listen, I'm hungry. And I know you're thinking, Dante, there's no way I could be like you. But you could be me, you know why? Because you know who I was? Before I was me, I was you.
Man School 202. Better hear what I've got to say because you won't get it again.
I'm not an alpha male. I'm not a beta male either. I'm just a better man. Well, put your happiness first, because if you don't, they won't.
What's up? CYB, get your balls back. WWDD, what would Dante do? Sexual Revolution Beer Podcast to y'all. I am excited. Good to be here. What's poppin'? Y'all asked for it, so I'm here. Live consultations on the air. You know how we do. Let me check the chats. If everybody can hear me, please, give me a thumbs up. Please, in the chat, give me a thumbs up. Please. Let me know y'all hearing me good before we get into it. We're gonna rock and roll. We're gonna move really quick. I'm gonna put the number up in just a second. We're gonna do that. And let's see. I hope everybody's good on this Sunday afternoon. Happy about that. Bam. There's the banner. There's the number. Y'all can call in. I'm ready to hear from you, y'all. Let's get it. Let's get it. Make sure all the settings is good. I had a good weekend, man. I hope y'all did. Just trying to hope. I'm hoping everything works out good today. I got a lot of stuff on my mind. Can't wait to talk about it. I had some good progress from some of the clients. Really happy about that. So yeah, man, I'm excited. Phone lines are open. Chat. Okay. Phone lines are open. Let me just call and make sure, confirm that everything is rocking. I hope y'all are good. I hope everything is good. It's just dope. I'm excited. I'm getting more comfortable with this. Been working on this pretty regularly, trying to get it all together. And I'm happy, man. I'm in a really good place. Really good place. Probably because of y'all, man. I got to give y'all props. Let me see what we got here. Let's see if we come up.
Please state your name after the tone.
Yeah, let's see if we come up, and we'll just make sure. It's a little warm in here today. The lights are hot. Okay. All right. We ready to rock and roll. Calls coming in. Let's see. I guess we just gonna get it. Yo, what's up? Where you calling from? What's your name?
D, what's going on, man? This is Larry from Chicago.
What's up, Larry? How you doing, bro?
That's why I'm calling you, man, to get some clarity.
Okay.
So I don't know how I feel right now.
Okay. All right. Let me know. Let's talk about it. What's going on?
Well, I don't know. Like, I can't really like give you a question because I'm confused. So I'll just give you my situation. You just tell me what you think.
Okay.
I think that'll be better. So.
That works.
So, all right. So, I got a call from my ex-girlfriend maybe like this weekend, right?
Okay.
So, talking to her, everything was cool, you know what I'm saying? And then it just brought back like a wave of emotions, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Like, because I ended up breaking up with her. Well, I mean, we've been broke up because I was cheating or whatever, but you know what I'm saying? We were still in contact
Now,
with each
she
other.
broke up with you or you broke up with her?
she broke up with me because I was cheating.
Okay. All right, cool. Can I
And
ask
so
you,
when
can
she
I ask
broke
you why you were cheating?
I would just say I was just afraid to let go of another relationship, and I was just kind of like, this one is pretty much.
So my question is, why weren't you honest about that?
I'll say at the time I wasn't able to vocalize it the way I am now.
How long ago was that?
Like 4 years. Yeah, 4 years ago, something like that.
Okay, and how long have you been listening to my content?
But listen to your content, man, a lot since Black Phillip, like
Okay.
that long ago.
All right, cool. So what made, okay, so I'm not, I'm not judging you. I'm just saying.
Yeah. Give it to me.
Here,
Come on,
so
I know I messed up.
What were you, okay, what were you feeling and what's the dilemma right now?
Okay, so I'm was talking to the girl this weekend, you know what I'm saying? Like I kind of came to a place where that relationship was over, that's the past. I'm ready to just move forward with a woman that I'm married to now, you know what I'm saying?
Okay.
But I was just kind of so talking to this lady, it just the ex-girlfriend just brought back like a wave of
All right,
emotions.
so let me ask you this. Are you still married now?
Yes, currently, yes.
Okay, so what made you dump this girl and get married to the new one?
Because my mother recently passed away, maybe like a year ago.
Okay.
Right. And, I was looking for some type of support from the ex that I just wasn't getting.
Okay.
And I was pretty much, I'm 36 right now, so I'm at a point in my life where I do want to get married and I do, want to have kids, blah, 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 all that.
Okay.
So, and I was planning on being with the ex, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
But, it's just the situation kind of revealed a lot to me, and I was kind of like,
okay.
Like,
so
no,
what about having this call that you just had makes the situation with why you didn't choose your ex in the first place?
Well, okay, so that whole situation, like, it just made me just feel right now like I'm still not getting what I'm looking for from her. Like,
Wait,
you know
you're
what I'm
not
saying?
getting wait, your ex, you're not getting what you wanted to get from your ex. So then my question is, if you already know you stepped away from this woman based on a particular decision that you had made, right?
Right.
What makes it different now? Or is it just you ego tripping because of the fact that this girl called you back and you thinking about you putting what you had on the pedestal that you didn't have in the first place? Because let's be honest, you just from your own words, you said that the ex didn't have what you needed. That you had you had a definite family and you didn't. Now does your wife give you what you need?
Yes, my wife definitely does give me the support and everything I'm looking for. Yes.
So then what are you doing?
I don't know, dude. It's like that. The ex is like I just feel like I just get this overwhelming feeling like
but
like that's the one I really want.
Yeah, but
you know what I mean?
but that's not the one you want. What you want is the ex to be like your wife.
There you go. Fantastic.
But that's not going to happen.
Absolutely.
That's not going to happen.
Yeah.
And you've already decided that. I mean, this is a decision that you already made. And then when you're talking to this woman now, it has nothing. What has changed from when you made the decision in the first place?
Well, we didn't get into detail, but just
the answer is nothing.
Yeah, go ahead.
The answer is nothing. Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
You made an assessment about this woman and who she is based on how long was you with your ex before that?
We was together 3 years. We was together 3 years, but we still been in contact. Well, for 2 years, so 5 years all together. But I recently just said
that's
like,
not
yeah,
what
I
I'm
just
saying.
can't do
What
this.
I'm saying is you had 3 years to decide whether this woman was right for you.
Yes.
And for whatever reason, after 3 years, you decided she wasn't the right one. So my question to
Yeah.
you is, what makes her the right one now?
It's like D, man. It's like this girl just got my number, man. It's
Yeah,
kind of
I
like
get she
that.
got your number, but ultimately, whether she has your number or not, what ultimately
Yeah.
is going to happen is you're going to be in a situation where you're going to make the same decision that you made ultimately. And then in the process, you're going to fuck this marriage up that you made a commitment to with
Yeah.
a woman who's already given you what you want, right? For somebody who, for some ego, or, what do I say over and over and over again? I say, don't ever let emotion have a seat at the table. So you are
Yeah.
emotionally attached to this woman. You have put I'm talking about your ex, you have put her on a
Yep.
pedestal, even though it took you 3 years to make a logical decision that this woman wasn't what you needed. And now you getting ready to fuck up the choice that you made under logical terms for something that you've already spent plenty of time. You spent 3 years trying to figure out whether this woman was the one, your ex, and you decided that she wasn't. Stop ego
I
tripping,
was
dog. Stop you're ego tripping. And you're gonna fuck up something that you chose. Now, when I asked you, does your wife give you what you want? You didn't
yes.
hesitate. You didn't
No,
say,
no.
well,
No.
da. So what you want is something that you can have, and you're gonna fuck up what you got that's right in the ballpark of what you want because of what? Because you ego tripping? Because you stepping out? I mean, the fact that you stepped out on the ex in the first place says, I'm not saying that you have to not want, guys don't have to be unsatisfied to step out. But through your own admission, you stepped out because you weren't happy.
I wouldn't say happy, but I definitely was afraid to really commit all the way.
You could say whatever words you want to use. I
Okay.
mean, we don't have to ring around the rosy. The choice was you made your choice. Now,
Right.
are you unhappy that you made the choice? Or are you, well, I don't even have to ask that. I've already asked you that if you made the choice.
Mm-hmm.
You're tripping. You're tripping. And you're getting ready to fuck up something. And you're going to be with this. You're going to end up fucking up with her. And maybe you might not even end up with the ex. And if you do end up with the ex, she's going to be the same person that was inadequate in the first place. You feel me?
Yeah, yeah, man. I feel you, man.
Dog, if you diabetic, right?
Yes.
You can't
Yes,
eat
sir.
sugar no more. It ain't good
Absolutely.
for you. So part of being a
But
man,
it's still good, though. It's still good, though.
yeah, and you could lose a foot doing it. You could
Facts,
go
yeah.
blind doing it. So at some point in time, as a man, we have to make
Yeah.
decisions based on what's good for us, not what emotionally we're attached to. Correct?
That's a fact. That's one of the main reasons that I married my wife today. Because I feel like I got married for a logical reason, opposed to I'm like really
And
in love
all
and
that shit,
blah blah
all
blah.
that shit wears off, dog. And if you wanna really have that feeling, like you gotta understand something. I don't know. Maybe the other one's a freak. Maybe the one is a little more exciting. I don't know. But Doug, if you got a woman who's in your corner and she wants to make that relationship. Why don't you get freaky with her? Why don't you do the things with her? Put the time and the energy in somebody who wants it. A lot of
Right.
times that's a self-esteem problem. There's an old saying where a lot of people say, I don't know if you ever heard this, I would never be part of a club that would have me as a member.
Mm-hmm.
In other words, we want what we can't have because we can't have it. And we're not really looking at it. We're not looking at it from a real decent perspective. You can make whatever it is as a man. You make your happiness the way you want to make your happiness, and if you don't, trust me, you'll fuck this up. And not only that, but you're gonna end up feeling guilty because it sounds to me like you really care for this woman. So you care for her. You're gonna hurt her feelings. You're gonna fuck this up, You got a good thing for some flash in the pan for somebody that you've already decided that you don't want to be with. Right?
That's yes. It's just hard to hear those words, man. But I mean, I definitely understand logically exactly what you're saying. You're saying basically what I'm saying to you.
Yeah, I mean, I don't got no dog in this fight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I'm going by what you say. Not only am I going by what you're saying, but I'm going by the intent of your words and the tone of what you're saying. Sounds to me like you're happy with your wife. If there's things that are missing or things that you want more of it, why don't you try to make that happen with your wife? I'm quite sure she seems like a dope enough person who would be susceptible to it.
Right. I mean, I get it. I mean, she's a good lady. You know what I'm saying? Like, I ain't never really gonna take nothing away from her. But it's just like I just don't have the same passion that I got for the
because
ex.
the other one is elusive. It's supply and demand, dog. We want what we can't. We want what we can't have. We want things that are available to us a lot of times, and at some point in time, we got to be mature enough that if we diabetic, we're gonna leave them Oreo cookies alone. You feel me? And
Right.
and maybe, I mean, it sounds like your wife is down for you. Sounds like you could make some Oreo cookies with her. You feel me?
Yeah, I definitely can. You know, it's
that's what you need. That's where your energy needs to be. If you were telling me that you weren't happy, even if I asked you, are you happy, and you hesitate, what you doing, you're acting like a chick. I mean, no disrespect, but that's what a chick.
I mean, it's true.
That's what a chick
I'm
does.
Definitely emotional.
Right.
I'm definitely emotional.
That's what a chick does. She's always looking for the upgrade. And that's why you got to be the best version of yourself, because you can't make a chick stay with you. You have to be the best version, the best option that she has. That's how she stays with you. Okay?
I agree.
All right?
All right, yeah, I got you. I got you, D.
All right, bro. Thanks for calling in, bro.
I appreciate you, man. Thank you.
Cool.
Bye.
Yeah, I mean, just to follow up on that, it's a situation where we definitely, you know, I mean, we have to make, and I understand I have the wherewithal to be in a situation where I'm older and I'm more mature, and I'm saying I've done that where I've chased that monkey, you know, I've chased that monkey and then ended up unhappy because I did.
Press 1.
Noah, what's going on? Where you calling from?
Calling from New York, man.
What's going on, Noah? How can I help you, bro?
So, Dante, I just wanted to ask you, I really like your concept of, the 5 bricks, but I wanted to ask, how much of a numbers game was it for you? Because I feel like, most of the time I'm confident I can approach people and so forth, but I just feel a lot of times it doesn't go anywhere. I mean, I do get dates and all of that, but it's just the rejection rate is just very high. So how did you handle that?
Well, let me ask you this. You play ping pong?
I don't, but I, recreationally.
Okay. So if you wanted to go to the Olympics in ping pong, how would you do that?
I would practice a ton.
And
I'd play with a lot of different people.
And you would get a coach. You get a coach.
Mm-hmm.
You get a thing. So what you're talking about is, yes, laying the 5 bricks is the first part of that. Absolutely. So I'm quite sure. Well, let me ask you this first. Do you lay the 5 bricks?
I do. I mean, on most days.
Okay. Again, whenever I hear that, it infuriates me, because if you say you want something, anything worth something has to be worth the just sacrifice. So if you say you want this, you want the ability to you're dealing with this, you're dealing with rejection, but you haven't even done the first step to the extent that I dictated. There's a reason why I say 5 times a day. There's a reason why I say every day. But even if you're doing it 5 times a day, that only gets you so far. You got to go to the second phase. And if you're so it's not it's a numbers game because you don't know what you're doing. When you're skilled, it's not a numbers game. I really hope my boy calls it, because there's a guy who I consult with very, very regularly, and he had these sticking points, and I'm hoping he calls in, because I don't want to talk about it unless he calls in, because I want him. I asked him to call in to kind of talk and see somebody who has been through the process, who's done consultation with me, and what his progress is. You need guidance, bro. I hate to put it that way, that you gotta come off it and get a consultation, but that's you in order to be good at anything. This is a model for anything you want to be good at. If you want to take martial arts, you find a reputable coach. You go to the coach, you pay your money, and then you do what he tells you to do. That means if you got to spar, you got to spar. If he says stretch, you got to stretch. If he says run, you got to run. You just shut the fuck up and do what you're told. And then as you do that through time, you develop, because there's a method to the madness. I can explain to you the reason why you're having the rejection is probably because there's a rub, there's an incongruency, or you don't know how to take it to the next step. And the only way, first of all, you're not going to be able to take it to the next step if you don't have a level of comfort. You got to have comfort. You got to be comfortable. The talking to a woman has to be non-transactional. You have to have not decided that you want this woman simply because of her looks. Because she can tell that. She can tell when it's transactional and when it's not transactional. And the only way it becomes non-transactional is you have to do it so much that you're based in your comfort zone. And that's why it has to be done 5 times a day. That's why I tell you not to do it just to the women that you want to talk to. That's why I tell you to do it 7 days a week. That's why I do it consistently. That's why I say after a period of time, call me. We go to phase 2, and I explain what phase 2 is. Even when I do phase 2, what I do is I review how phase 1 went. And then we decide whether you're going to go to phase 2, because of the fact that, for the simple fact, there may be something you're missing. You got to understand something, that like I've said this, and you probably heard me say this, anytime a woman is talking to a guy and he's hitting on her, right? She has to decide whether you might murder her. Like, this is something that guys don't consider, because it's not a consideration that we have to have. We're not worried about getting raped when we go on. In fact, we're hoping we get raped. You feel me?
Right.
And so, but this is a consideration. Her safety is a definite consideration, right? Every time she talks to a dude. And so this is transactional. So her guards are up simply because of the fact that there's a possibility of danger and violence. You feel me? So if you, and I'm not saying that that's what you're communicating, but I'm saying there's also attraction that you have to communicate. There's also value that you have to communicate. And a lot of times they're not going to afford, they can't afford to make a mistake, because what's at the end of that mistake could be a sexual assault, could be murder, it could be any number of things, could be a physical assault, whatever. And so when you walk into that, and you're walking a tightrope that you could be doing something, I don't know what you're doing, but we would have to go through that and figure that, if that makes sense. So when you
that makes a lot of sense.
When you ask me, is it a numbers game? Yeah, it's a numbers game until it's not a numbers game. If you're playing ping pong, there comes a time where a volley is easy. You ever see somebody,
but I guess,
when they overhand slam, it becomes natural because you've done it so much. But go ahead. I'm sorry. What's your question?
No, I just like a follow up. I mean, I guess what I meant is, you have so much experience. In your experience, like once you get everything handled, let's say, and you're congruent, and we're still not going to go into bat.
Right.
I mean, we're not going to get everybody. So, what do you think is like a reasonable benchmark, if that question makes sense?
No, it doesn't make sense. I don't know what you mean by benchmark.
What I mean by that is like we're going to get rejected, occasionally. But what should be what should we expect if everything works perfectly? It's not going to be 100%.
You
Would it
can
be
you can
80%,
you
50%?
don't. All I can say is there's a situation where I can meet a woman at a bar, snatch her up, and take her home and sleep with her. You can get that good. You can get that good at it. You can take two women home and pull a threesome. That night you could do that. Yes, can be done. I've done it. So I mean, the sky's the limit. It depends on how good you want to be. I mean, I'm a weird guy in the fact that I don't believe in limitations.
Yeah.
Because once the basics is prominent, once you have the basics, then you build on those basics. Who knows what? I'm quite sure there is a limitation. I just don't know if the limitation is proposed by what we do or what somebody else does. I just don't.
Yeah.
I just don't believe in it, dog. I think once you learn your skill set, I think you literally can be in a situation where you can decide whether or not what you want your success to look like. I've said this before.
Yeah.
I mean, Harry's, trained with me for years. At one time before he had his girl, Harry had 5 chicks on the roster where he was driving out to Pennsylvania to go smash, not even because he wanted to, because he was obligated to, because he made a promise to. And I said, you understand that you don't have to do this. You don't have to fall asleep on the road. You're driving and falling, right? You could say no.
Yeah.
But the point is, you can't. You got to get to the point where you have the options, all the options you want to decide what you want. It's like I have this new analogy. It's like you ever go to a Chinese buffet, and the first plate that you get, you have everything on it, right? And then you eat and stuff that you don't eat. You just didn't turn you on, you didn't like it, whatever, and you move on. The second plate you get is just the things you like and maybe a couple of things that you don't like. The third plate you go is just what you like.
Yeah.
You're not filling up with potato salad or rice or whatever. You know what I'm saying? It's
Right.
the crab legs, the shrimp, you know what I'm saying? It's the things that you want because you made that decide. Most guys have come to a position where they can't even decide what they want because they don't have options to choose from. And so when you, DanteNero.com, click on consult, you can, also I do stuff, we do extra content where I teach stuff on the Patreon. It's patreon.com/manschool202. I also did, put a lot of technique and stuff like that, more, deep stuff that's more in depth. Ultimately you can't propose to be an expert or at least to be proficient athlete in this game without a coach and without guidance.
No, that makes a lot of sense. Yeah, I mean, I guess I do get some amount of success, but it feels a lot of it almost feels like it's poker. It's like it feels like it's poker. It doesn't feel as much.
It doesn't have to be.
Yeah,
it doesn't have to be. I mean, I've been able to change gears, like say something that maybe would be a mistake and make a mistake something dope that makes that be the whole reason why. Like you can't lose. You know what I mean? You really can't lose. And what you have to understand is, you lose anyway. Understand this. If you do get the girl, you will spend money that you don't want to spend. You will go places you don't want to go. You will listen to shit you don't want to listen to. You're going to do things you don't want to do. So what I'm saying is you lose anyway, even if you get the girl. Do you understand what I mean by that?
No, I mean, what do you mean? Like, I guess
I'm saying, so you get
spend
this
time
girl,
and money, but
yeah,
I mean,
you're telling you're going to
want to spend that time and money.
Yes, but what I'm saying is, you are giving something, and do you think that those things are going to be reciprocal? No, it's not. You do it because you want to. Like if you get a puppy, right? You bring a puppy home. I hate to make the analogy because it sounds like I'm calling women dogs, but whatever. the point is, you bring a puppy home, you're making a commitment that you're going to train that dog, right? You're making a commitment that you walk that dog every day, 2, sometimes 3 times a day, right? You're going to have to house
Yeah.
break them, because if not, they're going to shit on your floor and chew up your shoes and eat your couch. You're making a commitment that you take him to the doctor, that you make sure the shots, and when he's sick, you got to take him to the doctor. You have to take time and energy. You're making a point that you're gonna go and spend time with him and let him run and take him out, even when it's not just bathroom runs and whatever, because there's something that you get back from having a living creature in your home, and you want to have this dog. But make no mistake, what the dog gives you back is in no shape equal, right? I mean, when you're sick, the dog don't take care of you.
No.
When
Yeah.
you're hungry, the dog don't feed you. You know? So what I'm saying is we understand relationships is something that we take on. Women is something that we take on. But understand that you're doing this because this is what you want to do. This is not a win. I've said this 100 times. Even if it's sex, I've never met maybe one, but I've never met a woman that fucks me longer than I fuck her.
Yeah.
Never. And if you don't believe me, this is an experiment. When we finish this live tonight, everybody's on this live. We're on this live. I want y'all to go and Google lesbian strap-on porn and count the amount of strokes that a woman is stroking, is fucking the submissive. I guarantee that you can count it. And then look at female porn, right? And try and count how many times the dick goes in and out on heterosexual porn. There is even when you're talking about sex, you don't get back what you want. You understand? Women don't have the core strength. They don't have the hamstring strength. A lot of times they don't have the upper body strength. It's just not the case. So what I'm saying is, in no situation is this a win-win situation. I'm not saying you don't get something from it. There's not something that you get from it. But understand, if you're looking for a 1-to-1 ratio, that you're not going to get that from any relationship. And if you do, marry her. She's the greatest girl you ever met in your life. Okay?
Sounds good. Thanks so much, Dante. I'll hit you up for a consult.
Yeah, do that, man. We'll figure. I mean, I'm quite sure it's probably something really small we can figure out. But even when you get to that, there'll be something else. There'll be something. We'll remove that, and then we'll move to the next level. Okay?
Thank you so much.
All right, brother. Thanks for calling in. Phone lines is open, y'all. 929-269-4922. It's an interesting thing. It's everybody wants to go to heaven, but nobody don't want to die first. You can have whatever you want, but you got to be willing to make the sacrifice. Yellow.
From.
Seleno.
Thanks for calling.
To accept, press 1. To send a voicemail, press.
Yo, what up? Seleno, what's going on?
Yo, Dante, what's up, man?
What's going on? It's good to hear from you, brother.
Yo, you're on the live right now, right?
Yeah. You on right now?
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yo, so I fell out with this one chick that I was dealing with, and we stopped talking, and I kind of feel like I need a kick in the ass, or really just a
what happened?
refresher.
What happened? So let me just say to the audience and people that are listening, Seleno's been consulting with me, I don't know, how long now, Seleno?
Since I'm 22 now, and I started when I was 18, 19.
Right, okay. And every once in a while when shit goes left, you'll hit me up. And Seleno actually had his boy hit me up, turned his boy on, and I counseled both of them. And let me just real quick, what was your experience with consulting with me in the time that you've been consulting with me?
I lost my virginity from laying a brick.
Beautiful.
So
All right.
it was a little after after I started consulting with you.
All
And
right, yo.
I
So
turned in.
that is the live testimonial, in case you. But I don't want to waste your time. Tell me what's going on. Let me help you.
Yeah, so I started seeing this one shorty. She works like downstairs in the cafeteria of my campus, and we started seeing each other, and things were really good. She's really cool. She's respectful. Like, I don't have a problem, after from consulting with you. I no longer have problems with the respect thing.
Just
With
getting this
saying,
because,
don't talk to me
and let
like
me just
that.
say, because I'm talking to you, Seleno, but I just want other people to understand what our history was in the background. One of the things
Yeah.
that Seleno had a problem with was if a girl was attractive, a lot of times they were disrespectful, and because they were disrespectful, Seleno didn't have the wherewithal to stand up for himself and say, I'm not going to tolerate that. And the minute he started standing up for himself, then women started respecting him more, and that's how he ended up losing his virginity. And he's been really doing good, not just in with chicks, but just in life in general. So I mean, but I'm not going to get into that. But go ahead. So everything was going good. What happened?
Yeah. So I was clear. I don't want a relationship. I don't want to.
Okay. First of all, did you smash already?
Yeah, I smacked more than once.
Okay.
More
All
than
right.
once.
And
It was a continuous thing.
and so what was the rub where she stopped? Where y'all broke it off?
She met another girl that I was messing around with.
Okay. And then what did she say to you? Somebody else that you smashed.
Well, yeah. So I just
So
for
again, I
context.
just want to put this out there to the listeners. Seleno's a dude that I've been fucking with for 17 years, and he's putting numbers up. But
Not 17, but a couple since I was about 17.
okay,
18.
all right, cool. Well, I mean, it don't matter. I'm just pointing
It
out.
feels like 17. It
Yeah,
feels
but
like 17.
dog, but it don't matter. You've been putting numbers up. Okay, so she met somebody else, and what did she do? Confront you?
Yeah, but it was after the fact. So just context, it was Gabbo's birthday, and I was feeling my first mistake was just inviting her because she hit it off with Gabbo, but she and Gabbo's the man, my man who also sees Dante. She was hitting it off with him, and she was like, "Oh, so what are we doing for his birthday?" And I wasn't really too sure about her coming along, but she kept asking, so I brought her. But I also invited another girl, and she doesn't go to the school here. She doesn't go to campus. She just works on campus.
All right, so the other chick came and she met the girl and told the girl who you were fucking with that you told you didn't want a relationship, that she had dealt with you before. And what was her response to you?
She was upset. She was like, I didn't know other people were gonna get in the car because she drove us to the place where we were going. So I thought she was it was fair, but I thought she was using it to make a big deal about that. And then
she was.
Days passed,
she was. But this girl got in the car as well?
Yeah, so she thought it would just be us, like the three of us, me, Gabo, and her, and then I genuinely just passed my mind. I didn't even think to say, hey, we got
right, well, it's because you don't mess with this girl no more.
No, I do.
You do mess with her.
I don't. Yeah.
Okay.
And it was, the thing was, I told her before, I was like, we're better off just being friends. So that was the thing.
Oh, but you were still smashing both of them.
Yeah.
Okay, look, just Gabo, come on. I mean, Seleno, stop. You just speak up, dog. You know I'm gonna tell you if you're wrong, but I'm also gonna tell you if I'm not judging you anyway, and I want the listeners to understand that there's no judgment with this. Let me say this: you don't have a relationship with her. I don't see what the problem is. If you told her that, now look, I get how it might be a little close to invite them, but I've done it. I've done it. I mean, I've had 3 strippers almost had a bottle fight at a strip club one time, and the whole strip club had split into it was Russia and Ukraine because they sided with each other and it was going to be a whole thing. Meantime, I was laying up with another chick, but I also wasn't lying about it. And my boy who bounced at the club called me up and he was like, "Yo, they're getting ready to have a bottle fight in here over you." And I was like, "Dog, I'm with somebody. Because I was very clear and I was very honest about what the situation was. See, people only care about that when they care about that. It matters to her because because she's catching feelings. And so she knew. Now, did she find out that you were sleeping with this chick as well?
She asked. She said I had a feeling because she was acting weird.
Who, the girl was acting weird?
Normal. The girl who I was seeing at the time, yeah, she was acting weird.
Right, but the other girl, the one that was.
I let her know. No, I let her know, and then I was also gonna let the girl that I was smashing. I was gonna let her know.
That's what you're supposed to do.
And I wasn't even gonna invite her, and then I forgot.
Okay, whatever,
then,
whatever.
Gabo hit me
so
up
when you were honest about everything and it came down, what did she say? What did the one break up with you for? What did she say?
She said it's not the fact that you were really seeing her. Is that I'm not upset. It was that I told you that if you were seeing anyone else, I wanted to know so I can make the decision.
But you did tell her that.
Keep going.
You did tell her that. Did you not tell her that you didn't want a relationship and you're gonna see who you be?
I told her that. I told her that, and she repeated it back to me.
Okay, so then there's nothing to listen. So where are you
why
at?
I was confused.
Where are you at right? Why are you confused? You were confused because a woman woman didn't keep her word? That's what you're confused about?
I'm confused at the misunderstanding.
There is no misunderstanding.
She repeated
understand.
Yeah, but I'm acting like, why are you acting brand new when I told you?
Because
she said to me, "Oh, you don't want a relationship, you don't want marriage. Those are all the things I want." And I was like, exactly. So we're on the same page.
Right.
And then, maybe I see I shouldn't have invited her. I shouldn't have had them together. I should have told her that more people
you could do all of that and none of them. Somebody says there's something missing in the story. I don't think there is. Here, let me tell you what I think is the problem. You're expected.
Well, she told me beforehand. If you're, she kept asking. Hey,
and what did you say?
Are you sleeping?
What did you say?
I said, no, not at the moment. Those were my words. And she said, oh, well, I was like, why do you keep asking that? Because I'm not understanding why this keeps coming up.
Yeah, but she's asking you because she's asking you, and you're okay. So here's where the rub is, Seleno. The question, she said, "Are you?" So she's just gonna keep asking you so that she can pinpoint what your behavior is, what you're doing from moment to moment. So she's just gonna keep asking, so that the one time that you don't say, "Hey, I'm fucking somebody right now," or "I fuck somebody later." It's none of her business. If you're saying, here's what your conversation, if she kept asking you, you could say, "I told you before, I'm not looking for a relationship. I'm going to do what makes me happy. And whatever, if that means sleep with somebody else, I'm going to sleep with somebody else. I'm not telling you what you got to do or what you don't got to do. What I'm telling you is I'm going to do what I'm going to do." And so if you're going to keep asking me those questions, what you're ultimately doing is you're trying to find a reason to leave. When I'm giving you the reason to leave, I'm not going to do what you want me to do. And if you're going, "I'm not going to do what you want me to do," then you give her the opportunity to stay. And when she doesn't have something concrete to attach herself to, and she stays, now she's responsible for staying. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And so you didn't do anything wrong.
I was getting tripped up.
Yes, because she kept asking.
If you ask me a question, this is what you preach. You preach honesty, right? And I'm complete. If you ask me a question, I will tell you the truth. And I give people that disclaimer. But at the same time, when you ask me that, I get tripped up because I think,
but here's
honest,
so let me make it clear. Let me clarify it for you. If somebody is asking you the same question, right? Why would somebody, if you said to me, Dante, I need you to do such and such and such, right? And I tell you, yeah, I can't do that, right? And then you ask me again, what is my response going to be to you?
Yo, stop asking me.
I already told you, stop asking me, because I don't know if you think my answer is going to change. I don't, but it's not going to change. So if this is I also would do what I do is I cut your ass off, because what you're being manipulative. Do you understand? She doesn't care about what you want. She doesn't care. Somebody in the chat said, "Where's Seleno's father?" I'm his dad. Mind your business. But Seleno, let me just say this for the record. Seleno was a guy who didn't really have that guidance from his father. That's why he kind of called me. Am I right with that?
Yeah.
Okay. He didn't have somebody who understood what was going on, and that's why he reached, which a lot of the guys who do consultations and stuff with me, they don't, just because you got a father doesn't mean that he understands the social dynamics of this. But what I'm saying is, if one of the things about him, and I've screamed on Seleno for some fuckboy shit when he does some fuckboy shit.
Times.
Yeah, because you're bullshitting me and you're wasting my time. So my point is, when somebody asks you the same question, it's disrespectful. It's because you've given the answer. What they're doing is, I'm going to keep asking until the answer changes. Or I'm going to keep asking until you tell me something different. And then if you go back on it, then I'm going to call you a liar. Make ultimate decisions, don't give ultimatums. So the second time she asked you, and this goes for anybody, the answer should be, when you go, she asked the second time, you know what, we should probably stop talking. And then what would she say, Seleno? Because let's go through the scenario while everybody's listening, so we can act this out. This is dinner theater on a Sunday. I go, listen, we probably, you know what? It's best you go your separate way and I go my separate way. And then what does she say?
What? Why? I'm just asking a question.
Right. And I go, because I already told you what my situation was, what I was willing to put. And if you're not okay with that, I'm okay. But I'm not going to have you keep trying to manipulate me and be abusive. And then what does she say?
No, I was just curious. I was just asking a question.
Well, don't be curious, because don't be curious. And if you ask me again, then we can't deal with each other. It's okay if you don't want to be on this program. I totally get it. It's not for everybody. But if you're going to keep making it difficult for me, then what I'll do is I'll just move on and I'll find somebody who was. And what does she say after that, Seleno?
Oh, okay.
Now, how do you know? We didn't practice this play, right? How do you know what the response is?
Of her? Or
no, just in general. That just little act out we did, how do you know that? How do you know what she's going to respond and what she's not going to respond?
Because it's happened before.
Exactly. How many times has it happened before?
Probably about 3-4 times.
Okay, and every time it's happened, you call me and then we talked about this, right?
Yeah.
And when you stood
down,
right,
the girl I've seen before, it happened with her.
And when you stood 10 toes down, what did she do? They always go, okay, I'm just not. What they're doing is pushing the limit to get you to buckle under the pressure. A woman wants to see that you're really the dude that you are, and if you're incongruent with who you say you are, then it gives her space to not like you. But
so was I incongruent? That's what I want to know. Did I uphold? Because I was honest, but did I uphold?
Yeah, you did, but you allowed this fuck shit to go on, and you've been through this before. If somebody asks you the same question twice, Doug, you heard what I said.
Yeah.
And so when somebody asks it twice, you like, well, like she tripped me up. Yeah, well, but you've also been through this search, so you should have said, listen, it's best we go our separate ways. I'm not having this conversation. Why? Well, because I told you already. I was honest with you. I was straightforward. And me being honest and straightforward is not good. So, and I totally get if this is not good enough for you, then go find somebody who is good enough for you. See, by doing that, what you're saying is I have options, and I am who I say I am. Make sense?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So I should have just ended it on the second question.
And you didn't do anything wrong. You just didn't shut it down like you should have shut it down, because what you're doing is you're giving leeway you're giving wiggle room to the fuck shit.
Okay. Can I ask another question, or do we got it?
Sure, quick, real quick, because I got more people who want to get on.
Okay. I talked to her today, and in person, and I was trying to get back with her. I was trying to rekindle things.
Now this is where you did the fuck shit.
Yeah. Did I give away the war? Is what?
Yeah, because look, you said you were honest about how you wanted to control your life, right? And then you went back and you did some fuck shit. You should have not called. There's nothing to call about. What is there to call about? She's saying, I don't want to be in this situation in terms of the parameters that you want to put me in. So what you should do is have the empathy and the respect for her to say, oh, this is what you said you want. This is what I'm going to give you. And if you had not called her, what would have happened, Seleno?
She would have called back eventually.
And how do you know that, Seleno?
Because it's happened before.
How many times has it happened before?
Like 3-4 times now.
And every time that this happened, have you called me and did a consultation with me and I told you the same thing?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay. Seleno, have a good day.
All right, thanks.
I know my shit. Y'all fucking around like I'm not sure about this. I'm not even you know what I'm saying? This is one of my little shorties who I raised with somebody. I know my shit. It's like there's no scenario that I haven't dealt with myself multiple times. Let's see who we got here. Damn, I can't even.
Lavy.
Yellow, who am I speaking with? Where you calling from?
Lavy, and I'm home from Seattle.
What up, Lavy? What's going on?
No, but I actually a couple callers already kind of had a question relating to this, but I want to know how I did in this situation. So, yesterday I was planning on going out with my cousin, and this girl I used to fuck with back in like January called me out of nowhere. Like we had like kind of like it had been dead like for some couple months, and we had to talk. And she's like, "Hey, what are you doing? Let's go out, me, you, my cousin." I'm like, "Okay, cool, whatever." Like I didn't care. I was like, "We'll see, we'll chop it up." But at the time that I was messing with her, I wasn't practicing ace. I was lying. I had like I was just making shit up. Like I really was.
I get it. So what happened?
Yeah. So we get together, we have a good time and shit like this, and like she tells me about how she's like, the reason I wasn't talking to you, blah blah blah. I met a dude. I don't really like him, but he pays my bills, and I'm like, fair. I'm not going to judge you for that. Like it is what it is. I wasn't going to do that. So
let me tell you, this is another thing. We don't go far enough. The reason why I wasn't talking to you, I don't care.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
No.
Really...
What I'm saying to you is, she goes, the reason why I wasn't talking, I don't care why. I don't care why. You don't care? No, I don't care. Well, he pays my bills, and I'm like, oh, okay, whatever. I didn't ask all that, but I appreciate you being open, but I don't really care. What's up? What are we doing? You feel me?
I get what you're saying, but like the context that she's like, can we talk about something real quick? And
okay.
So if in that situation, would it be fine to say something like that though?
She says, I want to talk. What do you want to talk about? And what did she say?
She brings that up, and then she was just like, yeah, like I like you a lot better. He pays the bills though. But that's not the end of the story. But I guess even in that aspect, like. Because the plan was to just go about our night and have fun, but she wanted to drop like some truth. Like she said she was lying too. I was definitely lying. I told her everything I was doing.
Okay, but here's my thing. Why is she back? If this dude was better than you think she'd have been back?
No, fuck yeah, no, hell no, he ain't fucking better than me. He's just a sim paying for his shit.
Okay, so what I'm saying is, all of this really doesn't matter. What matters is, like, it's not your job to make sure that a woman is faithful. It's her job. If she's in a relationship, she's choosing the relationship. It's her responsibility to be faithful, right? Because if she
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
want to be, because you don't have access to sex, you didn't call her up out of the blue. She called you up out the blue. You go, so
Yeah.
right away when you go, yeah, look, I don't really give a fuck about all that. What's up with us? What we doing? We going back to my place? We going to your, what's up? You want to rock or not? Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying, yeah, I get, okay, so we good then.
Okay. Well, I mean, I ended up smashing that night regardless.
Of
It
course
was
you
more
did.
like
That's what she called you up to get smashed.
Yeah, 100. Well, it was to go out and I
No, it was
yeah.
she called you up to
To fuck?
get you out to smash. So a lot of times if
Yeah.
a chick calls me, right? Hey, what you
Mm-hmm.
in? Yo, we fucking or what? I go, you trying to? Because why else would you call me?
Yeah.
Why else are you calling me? I'm not saying you don't want to spend time with me and you don't want to do things with me. You like my company, but I'm saying you calling to get the D. Why else would you call? So all the preliminary, and understand how much more a woman would be attracted to you. What's up? What we doing? Well, you know, I'm with my man. Yeah, I don't care about that. Clearly, I've said this. Clearly, your man ain't shit. That's why you calling me. So what's up? I understand it seems cocky, but it's also honest.
No, I get it. Is it like? Of course, it has to be honest. But like, well, do I got it? Like, not that the thing is like I'm pretty crass normally, but like I'm trying to like kind of stray away from that a little bit.
Why? I don't say you got to be crass. That's not crass. That's just honest.
Well, like, what's
You
up, we
broke up
fucking?
with me. You
That
broke
ain't-
up with me. You got you do. What was? Did I? You don't think she? You? I mean, you don't weren't thinking that she was
no,
home.
we weren't together. No, we weren't together.
Right,
at
but
that
I'm
point.
saying even that the fact that you weren't together,
We
you
were
don't
just
think
fucking.
she was sitting home not getting the dick from somebody else, right?
Of course.
Okay,
I was
okay.
fucking dude.
So what is crass about saying what's up? Well, what are we doing? How is that
I
crass?
think I was. No, that's fair. I guess that's fair. I guess because like, what it was the tone of the conversation. Like I don't know, like I wasn't. I knew what we were gonna get into.
You
I
listen.
knew what we were
You
gonna
listen
get into.
to the. You listen to the show, right?
Big fan.
Okay. What do I say? You don't let somebody else set the tone of the conversation. You don't let this. I look. Here's a crate. I mean, I'm full disclosure. 2 weeks ago, I get a call from a girl that I took her virginity when she was 18. She was when I used to go to Catholic school. She was in the choir. I smashed her when she was 18. She's an old bitch now. She 53. She got grand. She hits me up. Blah 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 blah. Why is she hitting me up?
You trying to suck something?
Exactly. So, but as I'm talking to her, I remember she's annoying, right? And I remember why I stopped fucking with her. Because she's annoying.
Yeah.
So I was like, well, good luck with your grandkids and blah, 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 blah. And I'm out. But if it was somebody who I wanted to fuck with, I'm like, yo, what's up? Let me get a slice of that. What? And they know me, so they like, what? And I go,
Oh, okay, but you have to set that precedent. Like that's how you are, right? Like I mean, like if I'm like, Mr.
but
Rico
if
Suave,
she
everything
calls
gotta
you
be a
back,
fucking
if
clever.
she's calling you back, you get to set the precedent.
Okay.
And if she's upset about it, look, here's full disclosure. I was dating this girl. I said we were dating for a while, and I couldn't get a blowy. I was just noticing we fucking, but I couldn't get a blowy. And I was like, yo, what's up with that? What's up with the brain? And she was like, oh, I'm really not good at it. And I go, well, look, understand something. I'm here to practice. If you need practice, you don't even have to sign up for court time. Just you can be reckless. You know what I mean? You don't gotta call. You don't gotta call for next. If I'm here, just pull it out, and you can. You know what I'm saying?
No appointment necessary.
No appointment. And she said, well, it's just not that good of it. I said, well, understand something. I am not going to be with somebody and not get my dick sucked, right? So,
Yeah,
and I said,
100%.
and I also am not going to have this conversation again, right? So she was, stepped up, like a trooper, practice. I don't know if she did research or whatever. She was tossing salad, everything. She was all in, right? And then all of a sudden it started weaning off again. And we didn't have no argument, but I called her up one day in the afternoon and I said, listen, it's best I think we're gonna end this. She says, what? I go, yeah, well, you don't really like me. And she goes, why do you say I love our relationship and we communicate better and things are better? I said, well, then why is my dick not in your mouth? Why do you have to be so crass? Because I'm not playing with you. I'm a grown-ass man. I told you, if you're in a relationship and and this goes for anybody, if you're in a relationship where you've told somebody what makes you happy and they're not making an effort to do so, it's because they don't give a fuck about you. It's one thing if they don't know what makes you happy, but when you've had a conversation and you told them what makes them happy, whatever that is, home cooked meal, a back rub, you know what I mean? Whatever the fuck it is, a blowjob, whatever it is. If she knows that and she's not doing it, it's because she don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I get that. Like, I had an ex that, like, she gained weight, and I'm like, after a while, I'm like, oh, I get it. You're never gonna lose it because you don't care enough.
And maybe she has other issues why she's getting, but you still,
oh, for sure, yeah.
But you still get to decide what your life looks like.
Yeah. 100%.
And if your life does not look like it should look with a fat bitch, then you get to leave. Just like if you don't have a job and you ain't ambitious and they don't think that you a high value man, quote unquote, to the great Kevin Samuels, God rest his soul, you get to leave. You get to leave. If you're not feminine and submissive and kind, and you get to leave. Just like if you're not earning, if you ain't got a job, if you're not moving forward. I just counseled a dude that was in a relationship 8 years, and the girl got a job with the police department where she was, fucking around with older dudes, and they in her ear telling her. Now he loves her and he would do anything to make her happy. I mean, he's just having a rough time getting his shit off the ground. But so she decided she was like, yeah, well, this is not moving forward the way I want now. And I was like, oh, what does your girl look like? He's like, oh, a 7. So as soon as he says 7, she's probably a 4, right? And there's old motherfuckers in the precinct who are telling her because they want to smash, they want to joyride. They want to shoplift the pussy, but they have no intention on giving her a relationship. And then once she leaves him and he goes and he takes that energy, that loyalty, that kindness, that generosity, that desire to want to make his woman happy to somebody else, she's not going to get it from not if you're a 4.
No. Not at all. No. And it's like, I guess, like in that situation, it's like well, is that his fault, though, that it got to that point?
Yeah, but, I mean, it's not his fault because the fact, I mean, look, she decided he wasn't good enough. And then he tried, let's try and let's, see, the thing is, if somebody says, I don't think this is working, what she's saying is you ain't good enough. You should take it that way.
Yeah, 100%. That's how I took it with my ex. It's like, oh, you don't value my, like, whatever the fuck.
Yeah, no, that's fine. You get to choose. You get to decide what you're good enough. But good luck. Yeah. But then what is she doing? So she gets some simp to pay the bills, and then she's calling you on the slide. And then she smashes this dude on the side because she's getting her bills paid and whatever the fuck. You know what I'm saying? You got to stand 10 toes down. You feel me?
No. Yeah, so the reason I really was actually like, it was just a conversation today. So this was last night after I fucked all that shit. And she's telling me, I'm like, I don't, like, in essence, I was just telling her, I don't care. Like, I'm doing my own thing or whatever. And then, so she calls me this morning, like, literally, maybe like the call had ended 5 minutes before you started the stream. And it was like kind of basically along the lines of like, she was kind of like upset because, so I went out. She was at a bar.
She was upset because of what? Tell me what she was at. Don't give me the whole story.
So I was dancing with other girls and shit like before she had got there because I'm
okay. Because you don't, right?
She gets there
and she got upset because of what?
because she comes there, she's like this little light skinned girl from Texas. She likes to play around like this. She's like, what she was doing here before I came? What she did? I'm like, nothing. I'm just kind of like joking around and shit. But after a certain point, she asked, I'm like, I was dancing with other girls. I was getting it in, and then she's like dumbfounded. She calls me today. She's like, I don't like how you said like.
Yeah,
like
I don't
you
care.
dancing with them,
And what is your
dancing with
response?
me. And then it's
I
like,
don't care. You got a whole ass dude.
that's what I said.
You got a whole ass
yo,
dude. And trust me, that dude is not paying the bills and not fucking her also.
No, she's he be staying at her house sometimes, like her
I
little
know,
place.
but she don't like them, so
I don't give a
she
fuck.
gotta give him some ass in order for him to pay the bills. She probably holds him
100%.
off and don't like, yo, but what I'm saying is, what's wrong with saying you got a whole ass relationship and you trying to dictate this? Then you got look, this ain't gonna work. If this is how you starting already, this ain't gonna work.
Yeah, but to be fair, the reason why I didn't really like press the issue like that is because I have no intentions of getting with long term.
Yeah, but you still got to practice. You still got to practice being 10 toes down. Because when you do have an invested interest, you're not going to be able to say that if you don't do it now. Truth is something. I mean, I understand that we think that truth is easy, but it's not. It's not easy to tell the truth. You got to practice doing it.
That's true.
So it's like, even when I was talking to my boy Seleno, I don't know if you heard before, I've been training him, and she asked him 2 times, 3 times, and then he starts, and then you start doing the half truths, 10 toes down all the time. I had a chick, I was talking to some chick, this is years ago, maybe about 5-6 years ago, I was talking to this chick, and she stepped off to go smoke a cigarette or whatever the fuck, and then this other stripper came up to me, and I was talking to the stripper, and then the girl came back, and she was like, oh, I'm getting ready to go, and I was like, well, give me your number then. So I got my arm around the stripper, and I go, well, give me your number before you go. And she goes, I'll take the number down. So the stripper goes, oh, you just gonna take a number while I'm standing here? I go, I haven't even fucked you, and you jealous already? This is not gonna work. She was like, I'm not jealous. Okay, well, then don't worry about whose number I get. If you allow this kind of scrutiny, you will get that kind of scrutiny. You know?
Well, so hold on. In this situation, so like, but say you're out, like you, well, I guess I answered my own question. Never mind. I was going to say something like, in that aspect, like, you're with one person and you're kind of like talking to them, like, don't you have, not if there's any obligation.
I don't have an obligation. No, I don't.
Yeah, no.
I don't have an obligation.
No.
Now, if I take you out to dinner,
and you can't be macking on other bitches.
Yeah, I'm not trying to do that. I mean, that's just rude.
Yeah, very much so. Or like if you guys go out, or like they come to meet you somewhere, like that happened. I remember this other girl I was talking to. Like I was like, should I like? Because some dudes had to go chop it up when I was away, and I'm like, do I go stop it? I'm like, but like, not that I'm like,
no, she's supposed to stop it. She's supposed to stop it.
And she did. She was like kind of like on her phone, like trying to like shy away, like moved away, like he came up to her.
Right now,
like,
if she stops it, and he's still pressing. Then you gotta go, yo, my man, she's not interested, dog. No disrespect, but
okay, right,
you being pushy. Stop, and you can see she's uncomfortable.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, so I still, that's
10 toes down, dog. 10 toes down.
10 toes down.
Peace.
Yeah, I appreciate you, Anthony. Thank you so much.
I want to put this up real. Jeff Turbo said something in the chat. He says, I'd really like to take your advice on my situation with 2 Capricorn women, one who knows I have a girlfriend and the other one who doesn't know and I want to get out of the situation desperately. First of all, the problem I have with this chat room, I don't care whether she's a Capricorn. I don't know if you're saying she's a Capricorn and she's a bitch or what. Her sign doesn't mean anything. The sign, women treat you the way that you allow them to treat you. And if you treat them like
Dominic.
If they treat you in a way, it's only because you've allowed them to. Their sign has nothing to do with it. Their nationality has nothing to do with it. If you don't tolerate the bullshit.
Hello?
Dominic, what's going on, bro? Where you calling from?
Yo, I'm from the Bronx, bro. What's up, man?
What's going on? How can I help you, D? What's going on?
Yo, nah, so I'm just coming out of a 3-year relationship, had a kid, you know what I mean? And I'm just like
How old
trying
are
to
you?
get myself.
How old are you, fam?
I'm 28. I'm 28.
Okay, so
28.
you're young. All right, one kid or two?
Just one kid. This is
Okay.
my first kid.
All right, so what's going on? Tell me what's going on. What's the problem?
Nah, so like I'm just like I was like really like faithful for a long time, like for within that 3 years.
Uh-huh.
And then like towards the end I started like, flirting and doing all types of other shit. And I felt like she wasn't feeling that. There was just a whole lot of like broken promises between the both of us. And
What was
I feel like
the broken promises?
Nah, she told me that one day she will have a threesome with me. She lied. She wasn't with it. And then me, I told her that at first I had told her that I might, sleep around, but then I like backtracked and was like, nah, I'm gonna just be with you. But I couldn't stay true to that.
Okay.
I was lying.
So then why'd you get married and have a baby?
No, I didn't get married.
Okay, why'd you have a baby with somebody who you knew wasn't gonna be okay with that?
So it just happened like 6 months into our relationship type thing. Like everything just happened fast. Like
Yeah, it didn't happen. It wasn't. You didn't wake up one day and end up in a relationship. You had a conversation about this.
Yeah, I did.
Okay, so the what happens when you ain't righteous, when you have no credibility? This is what happened when you don't practice ACE.
Yeah.
So how does this move forward? What's the point now? You calling me now in terms of what? First of all, listen, if you got a girl, if the girl is not into women and she's not, you don't have, the threesome, if she's not setting up the threesome, here's the thing. This is the same thing. I don't know if you've been listening since the beginning of the live, but
yeah, wow.
If somebody is not trying to make you happy, something within reason, right? She didn't have a threesome because she didn't want to have a threesome. And and to be honest, if she did love you, if she does love you, she probably don't want to share you. There's just never a situation where a woman is in a relationship where she wakes up one day, you know what, I've been with my man so long and I know he's probably tired of my pussy. I'm going to bring some new pussy in. That just doesn't happen, dog.
Yeah.
If a woman is into women already, and if y'all start off with threesomes and stuff, but even that, if you start off with that, if it's not something that she wants, because if she's fulfilled by the relationship, she's gonna stop doing threesomes.
Yeah.
Unless you set the precedent up front, this is how I get down.
Right, and I don't believe I did that. I didn't.
Well, I know you did. I know you didn't because you weren't righteous about everything else. So I know you didn't. But I'm just saying you can't expect. Look, even when you're honest, you can't expect somebody to stay. You can, right. But you be honest so that they have the agency to say what they want and what they don't want. And 9 times out of 10, women don't really know what they want. What they want is a guy who they think is better than them. And when you start bucking under the pressure and start being a cornball and start bending and buckling because of whatever, and you're not standing 10 toes down, then you're not better.
Yeah. I mean, towards the end, I felt like she knew I was doing my flirting thing and I was hollering at chicks and all that. And it got really abusive because she was like, oh, I can't trust you, but I want to be with you. And then it was like this whole back and forth, and then we got a kid, and then it was a lot of, there's a lot of bullshit.
Yeah, but this is not a situation where you have that conversation after you have a kid. The kid doesn't make that situation better.
No, this was before I had a kid. The threesome talk,
I'm saying, but then once you have the kid, she's gonna think that the nature of things change, and so you got to say, look, we're gonna have this kid, but I'm still trying to have this threesome, and if that's not what we not gonna have, you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I tell this to guys, anybody who's out there who's engaged and gonna get married. Women want the wedding, they don't want the marriage. Understand
Yeah.
when a woman wants you, she wants fidelity from you. What she's saying is, I'm gonna fuck you for the rest of my life. She may not
But
she may not understand that that's what she's saying, but what she's saying is, I don't want you to fuck nobody else, and I only want you to fuck me. But then I don't really want to fuck you as much as you want to fuck me. So I recommend this in every relationship. Look, I don't mind. We could do this, but I'm saying I'm not going to be without. So the day that we have a conversation and you're not fucking me enough, I'm going to have a conversation with you. But then after we have that conversation with you, I'm going to get it from someplace else. I'm not going to spend the rest of my married life not getting my dick sucked. Now, it could be you or it could not be you. But part of my non-negotiables is that I'm not going to do that. And you can't just assume that that is going to happen. You got to say it out loud.
Yeah.
And you got to understand that she has to confirm that she understands that. So when you do step out, she's not going, how could you do this to me?
Yeah. I just think she was always the jealous type anyway. Like, I guess I was just trying to make something happen with somebody that wasn't in their nature. That's not her personality.
And you can't ask that. You can't ask that of nobody. Because if she said, yo, I want a dude to fuck me and he's gonna fuck you too, what would you say?
Nah, it's not happening.
Okay, so do you understand how it's no different?
I never thought of it like that.
Yo, but this is something I really want. You know how hot it would be to watch a dude bend you over and fuck you? Yo, you got the right. Not only would it be not happen, but it would literally, probably you would break up with her. Yo, you bugging.
Yeah.
I'm out.
Yeah, she was on some type of like stern, like, oh yeah, I need this. I was like, nah, bro, you got the wrong one.
It's the same thing, dog. It's the same thing. If you like dudes and you was fucking dudes and you said, yo, I'm gay, I don't want to fuck with women no more, she would have to go, she would accept that, right? To the same token, you could say
she'd have no choice but to.
Right. And then, but the same thing could be said about the freak off. Listen, I'm not a faithful dude. I'm always going to want to do my thing. I'm always going to want some freak off shit. If you're not down with that, then we shouldn't get married. You should find somebody, a good Christian boy, who's going to do what you want him to do. You feel me?
Yeah.
It's the same thing.
She was very controlling in that aspect too. But me, I'm happy I'm out of the situation because I just think we weren't right for each other. But we tried for 3 years. We had a kid and shit. But I'm just trying to see, like, what's my next course of action as far as, like, you know, getting myself out there. I'm not looking for no other relationship. I'm just trying to focus on myself right now and work on myself. I got a lot of work to do.
Yeah. And you do that, you know, look, she might even come around again. Who knows? I mean, y'all got a kid together, but dog, you gotta be true to you gotta be authentic, man. And if you're not, then you're not gonna be found attractive. Women are gonna find you less attractive. You know what I mean? Because if she can't trust you when you tell her I got your back, then she's not gonna believe you because you're a liar. You can't just lie when it's about bitches or lie when it's about money, or it's like, if you're a liar across the board. I don't know what is true and what's not true. And that's why I say trustworthiness, honesty, loyalty is the most attractive thing. I'm not saying that that's the only attractive thing, but you could be six pack, you know, Romero, you know what I'm saying? You could be the prettiest dude in the world. But if you're a liar and she got to worry about, yo, I can't leave this motherfucker home with my mom because he might fuck my moms, you're not attractive, you know? All right, family. I appreciate you calling in, D. Yeah, it's shit. It's so important. I mean, what we do is the decisions we make, we create the conflict. We create the conflict. And don't get me wrong, don't get me wrong, any relationship you're in, male, female, or otherwise, people are going to test the boundaries. You say this is who I am. They gonna believe you until they're not gonna really believe you until they test you. Let me see. Classic. Hold on, let me get this. They calling in, his calls is rolling. I'm moving quick, y'all.
To accept.
Yo, what's going on? Who am I talking to? Where you calling from?
It's Major. Your boy
Mage.
Major.
Oh shit! What up, Mage? What's going on?
Yeah, I'm good. How you doing, D?
I was waiting for your call, bro. I talked about you earlier. So let me get a background of this. Major is one of the guys who I've been consulting with for how long now, Mage?
Over 2 years.
Over 2 years. Okay, and here's the thing. Major started consulting with me, and I said to Major, listen. When he first started, I said, listen, we can make this do whatever you want to do. Like, you want threesomes, we could do threesomes. You want orgies, you want 2, 3 chicks, whatever you want a nice girl to marry, so we could do that. Now, let me just let you go. Let you say what you want to say first. Let's do that.
Okay. Yeah, man. I'll say what I was telling you before. Yesterday, I was on a date with somebody. That was the second date. That went great. On my way home, I took the train, and I met these 3 girls. And you do what you tell me to do, is lay the 5 bricks. And I basically,
now let me pause you there. So even after the date, you were still laying the 5 bricks. You was on your way home laying the 5 bricks.
Of course.
This is the kind of thing. I want to say, me and Major spoke last night because he was so happy last night about what happened, and I was. But even what you got to understand, the language is where it's almost like he was saying that I was with this other girl, right? So what's funny is I remember when he couldn't get a date, or if he got a date, the chicks would flake on the date. He would be on the app, and then now he was like, I was on with another girl, like just nonchalant. But go ahead. So he goes on the date. He's time traveling. He's on his way home. Now you go ahead, take the.
So great night.
Yes, you can super chat a question if you want.
So I'm on my way home. And these 3 girls are sitting across from me, and I noticed that they were all sitting, all together, cross-legged, and one girl had like a longer dress, the girl in the middle had like a medium cut dress, and the girl that I was interested at like a short high skirt, like kind of a dress, right? And I said, all 3 of you must be in sync because you got the same pose, and you got the long, medium, and the low cut skirt going on, and they all laughed at the same time. And they were like, oh, you're super observant. And I was like, hey, I call it as I see it. And some banter was going on back and forth. And so when we headed out, ended up going to the same station. When we had to part ways, I just talked to the girl that I was interested in. And I said, hey, yeah, listen, let me get your number. I'd like to get to know you. And then she was like, oh, wow, like, really? I was like, yeah, I want to know who you are. And I got the number. This happened less than 24 hours ago, by the way.
Right.
And I had the date with her today. We went for coffee, went for a walk. We made out. She's leaving tonight. She texted me like an hour ago, like, hey, like, thank you so much for a great time. And she's like, we'll see each other soon. So that was wild. That never happened to me before.
Now, here's what I want to say. And there's some dudes who are like, well, did you fuck her or did you fuck? What I want to say is that you have to understand wherever you are, you got to move forward. So I got a call. It's funny. I got a call from a guy earlier today, and he was like, he gets rejected, and he was asking, I don't know if you heard. Were you listening, Paige?
Yeah.
Okay. So he was like, is it just a numbers game? And what I used to tell, the thing is, I was yelling at, I've yelled at Seleno, I've yelled at Gabo, all the dudes who I've, Major's got the brunt end of, and the reason why I be yelling and screaming is because I get mad because I give a fuck and I want y'all to succeed and I want y'all to have the life that y'all want to have. And I would tell Major, the first time I met him somewhere I was at a comedy club, and I looked at him and I said, you don't take up space. And that was my first assessment. And he said, no, all of this. And I was like, you don't take up space. What I meant was, when you are confident about what you're doing and how you're doing it, you have a different body posture. Your voice is different. Everything. When you start to get these wins, you feel confident and the confidence flows through. And some of y'all have that confidence already because you've had that experience, but then there's a certain particular girl that you get with, and then all of a sudden you lose confidence. And what I would tell Major all the time, it's the same thing. It's not different. That's why when I tell you to lay the 5 bricks, I say don't just lay the 5 bricks with the pretty girls that you want to sleep with. Lay the 5 bricks with the older ones, the younger ones, because in your mind, you think it matters because you have a vested interest, or you think you have a vested interest because it's a woman that you want to sleep with. And what you have to understand is, I don't care how hot the woman is, she may not be worthy of your time. She could still be a dirtbag, but what you're doing is you're acting as if she's doing you a favor. This is a funny thing. The first or the second consultation I had with Major, do you remember this, Major? I put him on the phone with another success story I had. Do you remember that?
I did.
So guys who old school guys have been listening. There was the brother by the name of Cinnabon. I put him on the phone with that. And what did Cinnabon say to you, dog?
He just said, you got to start with those 5 bricks. Specifically, it's like not the 3 bricks, not the 2 bricks, and you have to be consistent for this to work. And I remember I asked, well, I'm like, how long is this going to take? And he's like, it don't matter how long it's going to take, as long as you're being consistent day in and day out.
Yeah,
that's up to you to decide.
Yeah.
Right.
Right.
And I remember that.
And he was like, this will work. Like, just listen to what I say and you'll get to where you want. Now, I'm not saying you're not going to make these mistakes, but I mean, let me say something. It's just, it made me happy to see, because first time, I mean, because, Major tends to be a grumpy Gus, and he is the first time he called me like, I was 3 girls and I was able to split the 3 and pull the one that I wanted, and blah, 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 blah. Normally he would ask, let me get the social media. He was like, give me the number. And now I find out you took her on a date the next day. Like, this is crazy. And
in less than 24 hours. Yeah, it's wild. This never happened to me before in my life, but this works. If you apply the principles, you trust the process, and I'm
trust
telling you this.
What I'm saying.
Right.
I'm not lying to you, motherfuckers. I'm not lying to you. I'm not lying about any of it, dog. I've done this stuff for people, and I've done this stuff for dudes, and it's endless, guys. I mean, it's funny. We had another dude who I've been consulting with earlier today, young kid that I started out at 17 years old. I'm saying, I can help you. DanteNero.com. Click on consult. Major, I don't know if you want to say something before you bounce, because I just got a super chat and I want to.
Yeah. No, I'll let you go. Yeah, man, whatever it is. And it's just outside of just relationships too. I think we've talked about work life, right?
Yeah.
Everything. It all relates. And I think that's what's so interesting about
Real quick,
about all
talk
this.
about that real quick before you bounce.
The work thing?
Yeah.
Yeah, so when I joined, my manager was just giving me such a hard time, and I was just taking it, he's just giving me more work than everybody else, and he was just so strict with me. And I called you, and you're like, oh, what do I do? And he's just like, well, did you talk to him about it? I'm like, well, yeah, I did, and he didn't do anything. He's like, well, can you talk to his boss, the director? And I was like, yeah, of course. So I went and I talked to the director about it, and I was honest. I said, this is what's happening. Here are the examples. And he basically said, like, yeah, I don't want you to leave this job. You're a valuable asset here, and I want you to know that. And since then, it's never been a problem ever again. I mean,
And not only that, the guy who was giving you problems, he don't say shit to you, no. He don't fuck with you, no.
Yeah, exactly. It's just I probably would have just kept accepting it, just kept taking it, not saying anything if I hadn't talked to you about it.
Yeah. And I mean, because the principles work. The principles about humanity. They're not just about women. Yes, it works with women, but it works in relationships and everything else. So, thanks, Major. I appreciate you calling in.
Yeah, man. All right.
I'll give you a holler.
All right, later, Dante.
Later.
All right, later. Bye.
So, another satisfied customer. Usually just said I was gonna do an hour and a half, but I got a Snapchat. Also, please, man, hit me in the Cash App, man. I gotta pay for this super fast internet and all the rest of this shit. So if y'all can, the Cash App is on the bottom. Y'all can hit me with a little something. That would be nice. Cash App me. The super chat. Here's the super chat. It says, "What's your opinion about race as a factor when dating? I'm tall Colombian dude from New York, here in Texas, and these white girls give me good energy, but later they make it weird about me being Latino." So here's the thing: what I would say about that. If you got somebody who's racist, who thinks because I've had an Italian chick who Italian family from Staten Island, and she really dug me, but she wasn't willing to bring a black dude home. She had plenty of Italian dudes who was beat. Like she always had some dude that was knocking her upside the head, but they would rather have a guy who was abusive and knocking their daughter upside the head than have a black dude who was going to treat her kindly. So, I mean, I think that race is absolutely a factor if the family is racist, because of the fact that they have to deal with the social pressure of dealing with this with their family, and some of them don't have the wherewithal to be willing to go up against that. So it is a factor. To the same token, it could also be a good factor. I've smashed Indian girls because they hate their father. So it's like I was revenge for the girls who the girl who, because she hated her pops, and it was what better way to get back at her dad than fuck me. So I've had that too. I think what you have to do is you can recognize when somebody's racist. I mean, racism is a prominent factor, and some women are subject to that just like anything else, any other variable. If you're short, if you're fat, if you're unattractive, if you're dark skin, if you're light skin, I think that you have to deal with that. So it is, but I think the same thing is true. If you get a woman who has a bad relationship with a family, she'll fuck all the Latino dudes on the planet, So I just think you take it with a grain of salt. But if you're I just think it's a fucked up situation that we live in a country where this is a thing, and even women who anybody who wants to, people can't like who they want to like, especially in a time right now with the whole Trump shit and the MAGA shit and everything is hyperactive. I think, but I mean, you shoot your shot, man, and a lot of times I've had that situation where some little racist girl who came from a real racist family, she'd fuck me, but she wasn't going to take me home. So I was the secret, and if I'm fine being the secret as long as I'm aware that I'm the secret, and if I don't want to put it, If I don't want to deal with it, I just don't deal with it. I think we can. One of the things about standing 10 toes down is that you can make a decision based on what you care about. Do I care about this? Do I not care about this? Half the time, if somebody, I'm gonna, and I've said this to anybody who does consultations with me, DanteNero.com, click on consult. Anybody who does it or has done it in the past, I've said to them, anytime I'm with some woman, in some sense, I know that without a doubt, I'm doing her a favor by being with her. I know that I'm doing her a favor. And, it's an unfortunate thing that people are limited in that way. So, I mean, that's the thing. Please, y'all, like, subscribe. Let me see. I got a cool ass graphic. Let me put this up.
Audio Jungle.
Like, subscribe, and get the notification, please. Everybody's on here should be liked and subscribed and whatnot. I really would appreciate that. Don't forget, if y'all can, cash at me if y'all appreciate, if you find that the content is what y'all fuck with and y'all appreciate what I'm doing. Man, I'm really sorry. Today went really smooth. We had a lot of people online. We will be going live 8:30 on Tuesday in Godfrey's studio, and then we'll be back on Sunday at 7 o'clock. So tell a friend. I mean, if you got people who who fuck with me, or you think they should be fucking with me, don't be stingy. I hope that answers your question. B, F, C, 7C, whatever the fuck that is. I hope that answers the question. I think it's fucked up, but it's fucked up, but it is what it is. I mean, that's what it is. So Sunday at 7 o'clock we'll be back, and Tuesday I'll be back live again, and we'll figure some things out, man. I love y'all, man. I love all of y'all, man. I appreciate you calling. It was dope that I got a chance to speak to some of the people that I've been helping out, and be out of here, man. I'm get ready to shut it down, and I appreciate y'all, man. Thank you so much. Like, subscribe, share. Don't forget the Patreon, patreon.com/manschool202. Yo, love y'all. We out of here. Peace.